I'm Seher Zama. We're making a start on a very poignant note of our 20 brave hearts who were martyred at the Galwan Valley. What we see on our screen is the last and final journey of sepoy Chandrakant Pradhan. His father, his family, though, has continued to maintain, proud of his son laying down his life for the country. He was, in fact, the only earning member for the family. This is a family who are poor tribals from the backward Kandhamal district of Odisha, barely being able to understand the nature of conflict, but the biggest loss that this conflict has caused to them. Sepoy Pradhan, of course, had left the family promising to get back, get things in order for the home that he had built for the family. He had helped the family to entirely get out of debt. He was a huge backbone for the family and a pillar of support. And this has come in as a huge, heavy loss to the family at this younger age as well. Our correspondent Shreyasi has been in touch with the family ever since this tragedy broke, getting us more details regarding this here. Yes, Shreyasi, please go ahead.
Well, Chandrakanta Pradhan belonged to a very humble family in Kandhamal district in Odisha. He was 28 years old and he had joined the army in 2014. And he had last visited his home about 2 months ago. He was in touch with his parents and he had somewhere told his father about the situation that remains tense where he was posted. And the family says that they're extremely, extremely proud of their son, despite the fact that they have been grief-stricken. The mortal remains of Chandrakant Pradhan was brought into his village in Biyarpanga, where he will be laid to rest after getting full military honors earlier today when his mortal remains were brought in Bhubaneswar.
Down. Right. Good. Level A. Pass.
This is, of course, the complete guard of honor here for our martyr. Remember, the family was always worried about hearing the worst. He was the first from the family to have joined the army. In barely having 6 years of service, they were aware of the dangers here. But this is, of course, the worst possible that any family would want to hear. Look at the different backgrounds that all our martyrs have coming in from 11 different states, speaking 9 different languages here. And right now, we are looking at our martyr who came from Kandhamal district of Odisha, remarkably setting a huge example for his tribal village there in serving for the nation and also having served his family in being that backbone of support in all these years, in first joining the army to help family get out of debt, and then, of course, improving the conditions of the family here as well. All the family's hopes that were that they pinned their hopes to Sepoy Pradhan. The family is absolutely shattered here. We'd, of course, heard from the father earlier as well, the family that continues to come to terms with what has suddenly hit them. Our correspondent Shreyasi, of course, has been getting us further of these details, having spoken to members of the family here as well. Shreyasi, take us through more an insight into what we are looking at here, because this is a family which would also barely just about understand the ramifications of what has really happened at the Galwan Valley, because at the end of the day, the fact that speaks loudest to them is, of course, irrespective of what has happened, they've lost a family member.
Well, the family received the news, the heartbreaking news of this tragedy at around 11 p.m. on Tuesday, when they were told that their son had succumbed to injuries after those violent crashes in Galwan Valley against the Chinese troops. He's now survived by two younger brothers and an elder sister. He was the sole breadwinner for the family. He belongs to a tribal family from Kandhamal district. His father said he was extremely proud of his son. His son was not only courageous, he was simple and hardworking. And he got the news of his martyrdom on Tuesday night. He was extremely popular amongst his fellow villagers. Chandrakant Pradhan, only 28 years old. He had the dream of joining the Indian Army and serving his motherland. And he has made the supreme sacrifice for the nation. The entire village has gathered to pay their last respect and get a glimpse of Chandrakanta before he is laid to rest with full military honors. His casket covered in the tricolor, the gun salute, and he will be laid rest in his hometown. These few days have been extremely excruciating for the family, waiting for their son to return. But of course, it will be the last journey now for their son, Chandrakanta. The family has been extremely strong, and the entire village has been extremely proud. And not only the village, the entire country is proud of Chandrakanta, the supreme sacrifice that he has made. Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik has announced compensation of 25 lakh rupees each for the Jawans in Odisha who have been martyred in the Ladakh face-off.
All right, Shreyashri, thank you for those details there. We'll have to leave it at that.